When a saleswoman told a little girl that the dress she wanted was too expensive, her mother decided to teach the store staff a lesson they would never forget. What started as a routine shopping trip quickly escalated into a dramatic showdown, revealing unexpected twists and powerful lessons on respect and empathy. The morning sun cast a warm glow over the local park, where my daughter Lily and I had spent hours playing and laughing. It was one of those perfect days when time seemed to stand still. We were both dressed for the occasion, me in my worn jeans and a comfortable t-shirt, and Lily in her favorite overalls and sneakers. Our plan was simple: enjoy the day and maybe grab an ice cream before heading home. After a delightful impromptu picnic, I suddenly remembered something that made Lily's face light up with excitement. "Mommy, the pink dress!" she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling at the memory. A few days earlier, we had passed by a store window where a beautiful pink dress had caught Lily's eye. She had talked about it non-stop since then. So, with a spontaneous decision, we decided to take a quick detour to the mall. As we entered, Lily's eyes immediately locked onto the dress on display. Her joy was infectious as she ran over to it, her tiny hands clutching the fabric with awe. "Mommy, can I try this one?" she asked, her voice filled with hope. "Of course, sweetheart," I replied, unable to resist her enthusiasm. I loved seeing her so happy, and this dress clearly meant the world to her. Just then, a young sales assistant probably in her early 20s approached us. I couldn't help but notice her smile was more forced than friendly. "Can I help you with something?" she asked, her tone flat. "Yes," I said, maintaining my cheerful demeanor. "My daughter would like to try on this dress." The assistant looked Lily up and down, then glanced at the price tag with a snobby smirk. "This dress is quite expensive," she said, her voice dripping with judgment. "Are you sure you can afford it?" Lily's face fell instantly, confusion and disappointment clouding her bright eyes. I felt a surge of anger but took a deep breath, keeping my composure. "Well, take the dress to the fitting room, please," I said firmly. The assistant shrugged and handed me the dress, muttering something under her breath as she walked away. Inside the fitting room, Lily's excitement was contagious. She slipped into the pink dress with my help, her tiny fingers fumbling with the delicate fabric. As soon as the dress was on, she twirled around, her eyes wide with delight. "Mommy, look at me. I'm a princess!" she exclaimed, her voice ringing with pure joy. She spun around again, the skirt of the dress flaring out beautifully. "Do you think I look like the princesses in my storybooks?" I smiled, my heart swelling with love and pride. "You look even more beautiful than any princess in a storybook, Lily," she giggled, her cheeks flushing with happiness. "Can we buy it, Mommy? Can I wear it to Grandma's birthday party?" "Of course, sweetheart," I replied, bending down to her level. "You can wear it anywhere you want. Let's pay for it first," I said, squeezing her hand reassuringly. Her face lit up again. "Yay! Thank you, Mommy." We approached the counter, and I handed over my credit card, noting the assistant's surprised expression. She clearly didn't expect us to buy the dress. As we walked out, I caught the assistant smirking at us. That's when I decided I needed to give her a reality check she wouldn't forget. The next morning, I woke up with a steely determination. I knew I had to address the situation from the previous day, not just for myself, but for Lily. I dressed casually again, in jeans and a simple blouse, wanting to maintain an unassuming appearance. As I drove to the mall, I rehearsed what I would say, my resolve hardening with each passing minute. When I arrived at the store, I headed straight for the manager's office. The manager, a middle-aged man with a kind face, listened attentively as I explained what had happened. "I understand your concern," he said, nodding sympathetically. "Let me call the sales assistant over so you can speak with her directly." A few moments later, the young sales assistant appeared. She didn't recognize me at first, her expression shifting from curiosity to annoyance as she realized I wasn't there to shop. "Can I help you with something?" she asked, her tone indifferent. "Yes," I said, keeping my voice calm but firm. "I'd like to talk about how you treated my daughter and I yesterday." The assistant rolled her eyes, clearly uninterested. "Look, if you have a complaint, you should talk to the manager." "I already have," I replied, meeting her gaze steadily. "But I wanted to speak with you directly." She crossed her arms, her irritation growing. "Okay, what do you want to say?" I reached into my bag and pulled out a gift-wrapped box. She looked at it, puzzled, before reluctantly taking it from my hands. "What's this?" she asked, suspicion lacing her voice. "Open it," I instructed. She tore off the wrapping paper and opened the box, her eyes widening in shock as she revealed a beautifully crafted, high-quality handbag. It was far more expensive than the dress Lily had wanted. "Why are you giving me this?" she stammered. I took a deep breath, choosing my words carefully. "I bought this for you, not because you deserve it, but because I want to make a point. You see, judging people by their appearance or assuming they can't afford something based on how they look is not only rude but also unprofessional." Her face turned red, and she glanced around nervously. I don't understand." "You never know who you're talking to or what their situation might be," I continued, my voice steady. "Just because someone doesn't look like they can afford something doesn't mean they can't. And just because someone looks wealthy doesn't mean they are. Treat every customer with respect and dignity, regardless of how they appear." The sales assistant's eyes filled with tears as she looked down at the handbag, her embarrassment evident. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "I didn't mean to be rude. I hope you learn from this," I said gently. "Everyone deserves kindness and respect." As I turned to leave, the store manager approached, his face with a mask of concern and sincerity. "Mom, I am deeply sorry for the way you were treated," he began, his voice low and earnest. "I assure you, this will be a learning moment for our staff. We pride ourselves on excellent customer service, and what you experienced was unacceptable." I nodded, appreciating his acknowledgement. "Thank you for understanding. It's important that your staff treats every customer with respect, no matter their appearance." He sighed, running a hand through his graying hair. "Absolutely. I will be overseeing additional training for all our employees to ensure this never happens again." As I walked out of the store, a wave of satisfaction washed over me. I had stood up for myself, and Lily, addressing the situation head-on. I hoped the lesson I imparted would linger with the sales assistant, fostering a greater sense of empathy and respect in her future interactions. Back at home, the warm and familiar scent of cookies greeted me as I walked through the door. Lily was in the living room, surrounded by her toys, her laughter filling the space with joy. The sight of her, so carefree and innocent, was a balm to my frayed nerves. "Mommy, did you have a good day?" she asked, bounding over to me with her usual exuberance. Her eyes sparkled with curiosity as she wrapped her little arms around my legs. I knelt down to her level, pulling her into a tight hug. "I did, sweetheart," I replied, my voice tinged with the weight of the day's events. "And I learned something very important. Lily tilted her head, her brow furrowing in that adorable way she had when she was deep in thought. "What did you learn, Mommy?" Selfish woman spent money on posh dress instead of mother's treatment, regretted it immediately. My 5-year-old daughter started drawing our family without her dad. When I found out the reason, I was speechless. My Mill has been pretending her adopted granddaughter doesn't exist. I taught her a lesson. He stroked her hair, feeling the softness beneath my fingers. I learned that it's always important to treat people with kindness, no matter what. Sometimes, people forget that, and it can hurt others. But we can choose to be different. She nodded solemnly as if understanding the gravity of my words. "Like how you helped the lady in the store?" I smiled, touched by her perception. "Yes, just like that," I replied. Lily's face lit up with a grin. "Can we have cookies now, Mommy? I saved some for you." "Of course, we can," I said, standing up and taking her hand. As we walked to the kitchen, I felt a profound sense of peace. The events of the day had been challenging, but they had also reaffirmed the values I wanted to instill in Lily. Years later, the story of the handbag and the sales assistant became a cherished family tale. Whenever we gathered around the dinner table or sat by the fireplace on cold winter nights, Lily would often ask me to tell the story again. "Tell us about the time you taught the lady a lesson, Mommy," she'd say, her eyes wide with anticipation. As Lily grew older, I watched with pride as she carried those values into her own life, treating everyone she met with the same kindness and respect she had learned from that unforgettable day. Just like the sales assistant was taught an unforgettable lesson for looking down upon a little girl, here is another story of a bus driver who ignored a 6-year-old girl begging for help, only to see her in his house that evening. This tale takes an unbelievable turn and imparts an equally powerful lesson. Read the full story here. This work is inspired by real events and people, but it has been fictionalized for creative purposes. Names, characters, and details have been changed to protect privacy and enhance the narrative. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental and not intended by the author. The author and publisher make no claims to the accuracy of events or the portrayal of characters and are not liable for any misinterpretation. This story is provided as is, and any opinions expressed are those of the characters and do not reflect the views of the author or publisher.